Johnny Depp's journey in the public eye has been anything but conventional. Once the center of Hollywood's glittering scene, Depp was known for his daring roles, magnetic on-screen presence, and offbeat charm. But around 2023, Depp made a choice. That shocked many of his fans. After years of ups and downs in the limelight, including the very public legal battle with ex-wife Amber Heard, Depp chose to disappear from the Hollywood spotlight. Gone were the days of red carpets, extravagant premieres, and award shows. Instead, Depp quietly packed up his life and moved to the serene English countryside. He chose to settle in Somerset, a peaceful place far from the chaos of Los Angeles. His new home, sprawling across 800,000 square meters of land, was the ultimate retreat from his tumultuous Hollywood life. For a full year, Depp maintained a low profile, avoiding any public appearances. Not a single photo or video of him surfaced at celebrity events. The sudden disappearance left fans and media buzzing with questions. Why would Johnny Depp, a man who had once thrived under the intense glare of fame, choose to vanish so completely? It wasn't an escape, though. Depp wasn't hiding. He was actively pursuing a new kind of life, a life that didn't revolve around the relentless scrutiny of the Hollywood machine. In a rare statement to a local newspaper, Depp shared a heartfelt message. "I'm not trying to be seen anymore. I'm just trying to find peace." This message resonated with many who had followed Depp's journey for years. It was clear that, after decades of public turmoil, Depp was taking a step back to reclaim his personal life and focus on his own healing. But this shift didn't mean he was giving up on creativity. Instead, Depp was preparing for something completely unexpected. While many assumed that Depp's retreat from Hollywood signaled the end of his public life, the reality was quite the opposite. In fact, Depp was quietly reinventing himself. During his time in the countryside, Depp poured his soul into a new form of expression: art. With no fanfare or expectation, he began creating paintings that reflected his innermost thoughts and emotions. His artwork was deeply personal, raw, and unfiltered, a stark contrast to the carefully curated image he had maintained in Hollywood. It didn't take long for the world to take notice. Depp's art, which ranged from dreamy portraits to surreal landscapes, quickly began to capture the attention of collectors. Within months, his pieces had sold for over $5 million. Some prints were fetching prices as high as $50,000, with many selling out before even being released to the public. The art world, which had once seemed so distant from Depp's acting career, had now become a space where he could thrive and express himself freely. But it wasn't just about art. Depp also found his way back into music. As a member of the Hollywood Vampires, Depp joined Alice Cooper and Joe Perry for a European tour. This marked a significant return to one of Depp's greatest passions, music. While he hadn't been in the spotlight as much in recent years, performing with his band reminded fans of why they loved him in the first place. The music was powerful, emotional, and full of the rebellious spirit that had once defined his acting career. Despite turning down roles in Hollywood, Depp wasn't disappearing entirely. He was shifting his focus. His fans, though surprised by this new direction, were moved by his authenticity and the way he had found peace and purpose through his art and music. But even as Depp moved forward in his creative pursuits, there was a larger question looming. What would be his next move? Would he remain in this quiet existence? Or was there something bigger on the horizon? Perhaps a reveal that would shift the narrative around his personal life, especially in relation to his highly publicized legal battle with Amber Heard? Johnny Depp's relationship with Amber Heard has been at the center of a storm for several years. What began as a fairy tale romance eventually turned into a scandal that gripped the public's attention. The legal battle between Depp and Heard reached its boiling point in 2022, when Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard for an article she wrote in The Washington Post. Even though she never directly named him, the trial that followed was one of the most publicized and contentious legal battles in recent Hollywood history. For Depp, it wasn't just about the money, it was about reclaiming his reputation. The media had painted him as the villain in his marriage to Heard, following her allegations of abuse. In the court of public opinion, Depp had already been convicted without a fair trial. The world had sided with Heard, and Depp's career, once a shining example of Hollywood success, seemed to be on the brink of collapse. However, the trial took an unexpected turn when audio recordings of Amber Heard were leaked, in which she admitted to hitting Depp. This revelation shifted public opinion dramatically. Depp's fans rallied behind him, using the hashtag #JusticeForJohnnyDepp, and the narrative began to change. The tides were turning. Depp's decision to sue Heard was not just about clearing his name, it was about taking back control of his narrative. The 6-week trial, broadcasted to millions across the globe, became a spectacle, one where both sides presented emotional testimonies, graphic evidence, and shocking accusations. Despite the intense public scrutiny, Depp's supporters stood by him, while Heard's reputation began to crumble. In the end, Depp emerged victorious, with the jury ruling in his favor. Heard was ordered to pay him damages, though the battle was far from over. The case had caused deep emotional scars for Depp, scars that no legal victory could erase. His journey through the courtroom had changed him, and even though he had reclaimed his name, there was still the question of how this experience would shape his future. The question now is, would Depp continue his battle with Hollywood? Or would he choose to move forward, finally leaving the drama of his past behind? And most importantly, what would his next surprising move be, especially when it comes to his ongoing saga with Amber Heard? After his victory in court, Depp found himself at a crossroads. While he had emerged from the trial with his reputation restored, the emotional toll it took on him was undeniable. He had faced years of public humiliation, legal battles, and personal struggles. But Depp's resilience had shown through, and now, at 61, he was ready to move forward, though not in the way everyone expected. Depp began to re-enter the public eye slowly, first making his return to the big screen at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival. There, he starred in Jeanne du Barry, a French film where he portrayed King Louis XV. The crowd gave him a 7-minute standing ovation, not just for his performance, but for the man who had overcome so much. The applause was a sign that Depp was ready to reclaim his place in the industry, on his own terms. Despite this public return, Depp's next move remained unclear. Was this the start of a new phase in his career? Or was he simply enjoying the respect and recognition he had once lost? The world had been waiting for him to speak on the trials, his experiences with Heard, and what he planned next. Many speculated that Depp was preparing to make a bold revelation, one that would shed new light on his life, his struggles, and his future. Could he be planning a shocking revelation about Amber Heard? Could Depp be ready to expose the truths behind their relationship and legal battle? The world is waiting, and as always, Johnny Depp is keeping his cards close to his chest. As Johnny Depp moves into the next chapter of his life, the question on everyone's mind remains: what's his next big move? The past few years have been tumultuous, to say the least, with legal battles, public scrutiny, and personal struggles that have tested his resilience. However, Depp has shown remarkable strength in the face of adversity, and now, as he embraces his newfound peace, it's clear that he is no longer the man Hollywood once defined. Johnny Depp is no longer interested in the world of fame and film that once consumed him. He's no longer the actor who would sign up for the next big Hollywood blockbuster. Instead, Depp is evolving into someone who is more than just a movie star. He is an artist, a musician, and a man who has learned to live life on his own terms. And while many have speculated about his return to Hollywood, Depp is determined to continue shaping his own narrative. In 2023, he made waves by turning down invitations to major film festivals, including Venice, Cannes, and Berlin. While other actors would have jumped at the opportunity to revive their careers after a legal win, Depp's decision to stay out of the spotlight was telling. He is no longer chasing accolades or validation from the Hollywood elite. Instead, he is quietly but powerfully reinventing himself in ways that go beyond the glitz and glamour of red carpet events. But even with his decision to step back, Depp's influence in Hollywood remains undeniable. His name is still one of the most recognizable in the entertainment industry, and his brand is more powerful than ever. His partnership with Dior, for example, shattered global sales records in 2022, despite the fact that Depp hasn't appeared in any new ads. The brand used older footage of him, yet it was enough to drive sales through the roof. Depp's influence, it seems, transcends the need for new content or fresh campaigns. His legacy is intact, and his name alone is a force to be reckoned with. While Depp's focus may have shifted to art and music, there is still a lingering question of what's next for him in the realm of acting. With offers pouring in from studios like Marvel and Netflix, Depp's silence is deafening. Even directors who have worked with him for years, such as Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam, have reached out, hoping to collaborate once more. But Depp has remained unresponsive. This has led many to speculate. Is he truly done with Hollywood, or is he simply waiting for the right project to come along? It's clear that Depp is no longer willing to be defined by the roles that once made him famous. He has spent so many years wearing masks, both literally and figuratively, playing characters like Captain Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands, but now he is shedding those personas in favor of something more authentic. Depp is no longer chasing the image of being a legend. He isn't interested in filling the shoes of another famous character. He simply wants to be himself, a man who has lived through hardships and has emerged with a new sense of purpose. While Depp's future in Hollywood remains uncertain, what is clear is that he is in control of his own narrative now. He's not waiting for the industry to give him a chance. Instead, he's building a future that is entirely his own, one that allows him to create from a place of authenticity and passion. Whether it's through his art, music, or his occasional ventures into acting, Depp is carving a path that reflects his true self, rather than the image that Hollywood once imposed on him. But even with his newfound sense of freedom, there's still the matter of Amber Heard and their tumultuous relationship. Depp's legal battle with her may have ended in his favor, but the emotional scars of their marriage and the subsequent trial still linger. Though he's moved on, the world is still curious about Depp's feelings toward Heard. Will he ever speak publicly about their relationship and the pain it caused him? Is he planning to finally reveal the full truth of their marriage, exposing everything that transpired behind closed doors? Many fans believe that Depp is holding on to something much bigger than anyone realizes, a bold revelation that could forever change how the world views his relationship with Amber Heard. If Depp chooses to speak on this, it will undoubtedly be one of the most explosive revelations of his career. But whether or not he plans to do so is anyone's guess. For now, Depp continues to focus on his personal growth, leaving Hollywood behind and finding his place in the world outside of the glitz and glam of the entertainment industry. The question still stands. Will Johnny Depp make that bold reveal against Amber Heard? The world is waiting, watching, and wondering what this next surprising move will be. Whatever it is, it's clear that Depp is no longer the man he once was. He has grown, evolved, and found a sense of peace that allows him to step into the future with confidence. His journey may not have a clear path, but it is his own, and that is what makes it so captivating. Johnny Depp's story has been one of contrasts. From the boy who dreamed of rock stardom to the man who became one of the most iconic actors of his generation, Depp's life has been a whirlwind, and despite the scandals, the legal battles, and the challenges, he has remained one of the most enigmatic and fascinating figures in Hollywood. But now, as he redefines his life on his own terms, one question lingers. What is Johnny Depp's true legacy? While Depp's return to public life has been measured and strategic, his influence on the entertainment world remains undeniable. He may not be chasing the spotlight in the same way he once did, but his legacy has transcended Hollywood's typical definitions of fame and success. Depp isn't just a star in front of the camera. His evolution has made him an artist, a musician, and a symbol of resilience. In the years to come, Johnny Depp's legacy won't be defined solely by his box office hits or his memorable characters like Captain Jack Sparrow. Instead, it will be shaped by his reinvention as an artist and musician. His art has captivated the world, earning millions in sales and taking on a deeply personal meaning. The paintings, which he created from a place of raw emotion, reflect a man who has experienced much but chooses to transform that pain into something beautiful. For many, his art tells the story of someone who has been through the fire and emerged with a clearer understanding of who they are. But Johnny Depp is more than an artist. His music career, too, has played an important role in reshaping his public image. As a member of the Hollywood Vampires, Depp has embraced his love of rock and roll and found solace in playing alongside legends like Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. The band's tours across Europe were not just a return to performing for Depp, but a chance to connect with a different kind of audience, one that appreciated him for his authenticity and the music that has always been a part of him. Even as Depp steps away from acting, his influence in Hollywood continues. His name still carries weight, and major brands continue to tap into his star power. Dior, for example, has maintained a lucrative partnership with Depp, using older advertisements that have proven to be just as effective as any new campaign. Depp's image, once so tied to blockbuster roles, is now something much more timeless. His partnership with Dior, along with his consistent presence in the media, shows that Depp's influence can't be erased, even if he's no longer the Hollywood fixture he once was. The turning point in his career, however, came in the aftermath of his legal battle with Amber Heard. The trial, which was watched by millions around the world, became a spectacle in its own right, but it also signified a shift in Depp's trajectory. The trial wasn't just a public battle for his reputation, it was a reclaiming of his narrative. After years of being portrayed in the media as the villain, Depp took control of his story. His legal victory was a moment of triumph, but it wasn't the end of his journey. Rather, it was the beginning of a new era. Depp has made it clear that he is no longer interested in playing the roles that Hollywood once asked him to. He's no longer seeking the validation that came with playing legendary characters. Instead, he is focused on authenticity, on living a life that reflects who he is now, rather than who he once was. For Depp, it's not about chasing fame or approval. It's about creating art that is true to his experience and continuing to find peace and purpose in the quieter moments of life. But while Depp may be moving away from Hollywood, his legacy in the industry is far from over. There are still those who believe that Johnny Depp has more to give, both in terms of his creative output and his contributions to the industry. Directors like Tim Burton, Terry Gilliam, and others have expressed interest in working with him again, but Depp remains hesitant. The question now is, does he return to Hollywood? Or does he remain a figure who transcends the industry, creating art on his own terms and living life as a man who is free from the constraints of fame? The future of Johnny Depp remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. His legacy is one of resilience and reinvention. Whether he chooses to return to acting or continue his journey as an artist and musician, Depp's impact on the world will continue to evolve. He is not just a former movie star. He is a man who has endured personal and public battles, and in doing so has created a legacy that will resonate long after his time in the spotlight. As Depp continues to move forward, it's possible that the world will see him take on new projects that reflect his growth, not only as an artist, but as a human being. Whether or not those projects are in Hollywood, Depp's influence will remain felt. He may no longer be the man who dominated box offices, but he is the man who has learned to live on his own terms, something Hollywood could never teach him. In the years ahead, Johnny Depp's true legacy may be the lessons he has learned and shared through his art, music, and story. His journey has proven that it's never too late to change direction, to step away from the past, and to embrace a future that is entirely your own. Johnny Depp's next surprising move may just be the one that cements his place as a true icon, not for what he once was, but for who he has become.